Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Saturday morning new distributor training. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International, and it's a wonderful thing to have all of you drop by my home office. It's not a very big room, and so getting all of you in here is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but welcome. Good to have you with us this morning. As I was just preparing here to get going this morning before I started recording, I noticed one of our newer distributors jumping into the webinar, and just to allay any fears, I had somebody say this: you can see me, but I can't see you. I see a list of the names of people that have joined the webinar. So don't think when I say I see you that I actually see you. You don't have to like hide your camera. But I just saw Todd Davis jump on here, and I want to just acknowledge Todd. Some of you remember seeing Todd's story on Pat Anderson's Wednesday night Health Talks with Pat broadcast. He's had absolutely phenomenal results using our ZJ products. What I want to recognize, and Todd, direct shout out to you. If I haven't called you, all that is a sign of doing the deal, being real busy. But I've been watching. Todd has hit his pin rank every single week for the last 3 weeks. He's a relatively new distributor with us, but he's doing the deal. And that's going to be part of what we're going to talk about this morning on new distributor training, is how engagement can change everything. But see, what has happened, and some of you have been around long enough, you remember the old audio Saturday morning trainings, and I shared a few key phrases, the kinds of things that you need to be writing down in your journal. Okay, you should have your journal handy. Today my journals are these real nice leather bound. They got the little gold edge, like your Bible, and the little string thing. When I first started in this profession a number of years ago, my journals were little tiny, or not tiny, but spiral bound notebooks, because back then you could get a dozen of them for like $2 or some ridiculous thing. It doesn't really make any difference what you're using for your journal, other than to recognize, if you were to talk to the top income earners in ZJ, the top income earners in our profession, all of us have many of these things that we've accumulated over the years, where we've jotted down notes, phrases, golden nuggets, training concepts, what have you, and kind of real simple, something I figured out a long time ago. If you want what the top income earners have, then just simply do what they did and you will get the same results. It's just real simple. So anyway, back on track. Todd is illustrating, is personifying this concept. Consistency of effort and persistency of effort will overcome all obstacles. Now, obviously the key is, if you're going to be consistently putting in effort, that effort has to be done in correct activities. Okay, if you're not doing the right things, then you're not going to get the results you're looking for. But kudos to you, Todd. Extremely proud of what you're doing, and I see in your future diamond rank in ZJ International. So let me just, before I get into the training, I'm going to do just a quick little check here. Andrea, good to see you. Oh, geez, got a lot of Danielle. Good to see you. Great Pat, Health Talks with Pat broadcast. Here, I guess last week. It's kind of hard for me to keep track of everything. Sharon, good to see you. Yolanda, as always. There's just too many of you for me to mention everybody. See if I'm not missing anything. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, a lot of exciting stuff is about. Pat Anderson just said a lot of exciting stuff is about to happen. If you had heard some of the conversations that Pat and I have had over this last week, because we were around when Ken Brailsford joined ZJ, if you will. He started the company with his checkbook back in the early days, but it wasn't. It was probably about 2.5 years into ZJ's existence before Ken actually. He made bronze. I didn't know that. Congratulations, Todd. I just got a word from Todd's upline that you hit bronze. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Congratulations, Todd. I'm excited for you. All right, I think we're okay here. Now, what I want to do this morning, okay, and I'm going to focus on two categories of people. Those of you who are brand new distributors, maybe just got started this past week, or you've been using the product here for a few weeks. You decided, hey, I want to get one of the packages. I want to get going. I want to share with you what this industry, what this profession in network marketing has always been, and the most successful people will continue to do it this way. This is a person-to-person, if you will, belly-to-belly, face-to-face business. Now, that's in terms of, developing new customers, developing new distributors. But it is so much the case when a brand new person gets going, to be working with an active, engaged upline. This is not the kind of business that you can, enroll in, the university, and you've got your curriculum lined out for 4 years, and when you study all the different things, components that make it eligible for you to graduate, that you will then be able to, get a job because you've got your degree in network marketing. Our business is an experiential business. It's very much like an apprenticeship program. And unlike most careers, you don't have to spend 4 years in college, or 6 years in college, or 8 years in college, and spend thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to get an education so you can start making money. You can start making money immediately and learn and grow as your income is coming in. Now, certainly in the beginning, when I first started in this profession, my income was not what it is today. It took time to get there. Probably the singular advantage that I had over the average person is when I started my very first network marketing company, and this goes back 2 years ago, 33 years ago, I forget, but over 30 years ago, my sponsor in that first company was already $1 million earner. And what I figured out, because I used to be a cross-country truck driver, but I'm not trying to say I was just some dumb truck driver that made a ton of money. Okay, I've always been a hard worker. I was extremely coachable, and I had a burning desire to succeed. The 3 essential ingredients to success, and you should put that in your notes: good work ethics, willing to work, willing to learn, and a burning desire to succeed. What I recognized right away is my sponsor had what I was looking for. He had a significantly above average income, and he had time, freedom, and flexibility on a day-to-day basis in building his business. Number 2, he knew what to do. By definition, he had the results, so he knew what to do. Now, here's the other thing I figured out, because I wasn't stupid. He wasn't going to make any money off of me if he didn't teach me everything he knew. And see, that's so unique in the work world, because in most cases, your job, you work for the county, you're working for a large business or whatever, your supervisors don't really want you to be as good as they are, because you become a threat to their position. Okay, that's the way it is in network marketing. We want you to do, not only know as much as we do as well as we do, or do better than we do. Okay, that's the goal, is to develop a number of distributors to make more money than you. And people say, well, how's that possible? Talk to Pat Anderson. She's going to out-income me this year. Okay, and I'm excited about that, because you know what that means? She has secured the longevity of my income stream, because she's building a business that will be larger than my paycheck. And that's an exciting time to be part of this profession, when that can happen, when you have a company like Zegen. Now, brand new distributors just starting today, that's one group of people I'm speaking to this morning. Second group of people, those of you who are ready to re-engage. Maybe you've been around for a while, maybe you were doing things back in the day and you kind of wandered off to the sideline somewhere. The key to success in our profession is understanding really just like 5 or 6 basic things. Now, here are the ingredients that are necessary, okay? You need to be able to develop some competency in what we do. Now, competency, let me read it. Competency, it's been a long week already and it's just Saturday. That competency that you're looking for comes through knowledge. All right, that's the first step. Now, in the old days and how I built my first company and my second company, and this goes back to, I started in the mid 80s, went into the 90s, literally 10 years is what it took me to retire from network marketing. Back in those days, we didn't have computers, the internet, social media. We had, we didn't have email. We had snail mail. We had, VHS videotapes. That was high tech. And so the way to train and work with a brand new person to give them the knowledge they needed, to develop the competency, which would then develop the confidence that they needed, second component, confidence, to be able to go out and do the deal, which then ultimately, developed to engagement, where they were actually functioning, doing the deal independent of their upline sponsor. That had to be a one-on-one thing. Okay, it was extremely difficult to build, locally, yes, where you could meet face to face with your new team members, do a one-on-one training or a small group training, but to be able to then grow, statewide meant you had to jump in your car and go to that area, or to go, nationally or internationally. It was incredibly difficult, incredibly expensive, and incredibly time consuming. Now, when we started Zija, and Pat remembers this, Pat Anderson, for those of you that don't know, Pat Anderson joined me in Zija, I think about 6 months after I started my Zija business. And so she goes back to the origins. She was one of those top 50 distributors in the company that met Ken Brailsford in the fall of 2008 when he came to take a look at Zija, that the company he'd been building, but letting other people run. And she was part of that 50 people was at that event. Now, she remembers back to this, everything was one-on-one. We did new distributor training one-on-one. Now, we did it with a telephone, or maybe we did with a small conference call, but it was all one-on-one. There were no training materials. There wasn't anything out there. Folks, we had to develop procedures, processes that would allow for the substantial growth that we were going to experience with Zija 3 years later, when we went from 10 million, 1 year to $50 million a year the following year in sales. That was a huge, huge growth. So for those of you that are brand new distributors, and then, parenthetically, parenthesis, those of you who've been around for a while, but you can sense what's about to happen now that Ken Brailsford's coming back to lead the ship, to be our active, in the office every day, chief executive officer. If you are ready to re-engage, or if you're the brand new person, here's what I'm going to suggest you do. Get firmly grounded in the basics of what we do. Now, there's many opportunities to get that information. However, do not wait until your active upline diamond contacts you to help you. That's just not going to happen. Okay, we got so much going on right now. Here's what's really happening. You as a brand new distributor, you may have been sponsored yesterday. Maybe you saw the Health Talks with Pat broadcast on Wednesday, or the Biz Talks with me on Thursday. My guest was Doug Stroup. I'm going to have Doug coming in here in a few minutes and working with me on some question and answer stuff. Maybe you just got signed up. Then you heard about the Fast Start training or new distributor training, so you're here today. Okay, folks, you may have been sponsored by somebody that's been in 1 week longer than you, and their upline leader may have been in for 2 weeks. This is the pace the company is going to be growing at. And so if you caught one of the key ingredients that I mentioned, just a couple of moments ago, the singular great advantage I had over the average person when I joined my first network marketing company was that my sponsor was already $1 million earner. And it's hard for every single person that's getting started in ZJ, especially when you start looking at the numbers that are going to be happening now, where literally thousands of people are joining ZJ, on a weekly and monthly basis. It's not possible for an individual diamond to work with, 500 brand new people this week individually. So we've done things as leaders to help. Okay, now many of you are working as part of Pat Anderson's organization. I encourage you to go to her team website. It's www.clubmoringa.com. Okay, I encourage you to go there. She's got a tremendous amount of training and resources and tools that are available to help you build your business. I've created a number of vehicles for training. I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes ZJ. As a matter of fact, I think I have something I can do here. To all panelists, no, I want to do it to everybody and attendees. I'm actually going to do this for you here, www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes ZJ. That's my YouTube channel. Now, when you go to that channel, make it easy on yourself. Look for the navigation bar at the top where it says playlists. When you click on it, you'll see I've got one playlist. I'll be making some changes and getting it more organized, when I get some time. But right now, we're too busy building. But there is one playlist called New Distributor Training. Folks, I encourage you, if you're a brand new distributor, don't wait for your upline diamond to get a hold of you to help you. Okay? Make your upline diamond notice you by production. And take in that training. Okay, that's 1 hour. There's a 30-minute video called New Distributor Training, and what it is, it's the information that I was taught as I entered network marketing, some of the highest level understanding of what we do in our profession that's ever existed out there. And so learn what it is we do, okay, and the system we use to do it. Then there's 3 more little training videos, or about 10 minutes each, that are the fundamentals of getting off to a fast start. How to create a prospect list as a professional networker. How to develop your story and share your story, and the 90-day game plan. And see, folks, if you can take an hour and go through that information, you will have the best foundation of information that you need to get off to a fast start. You'll have that competency of understanding what it is we do. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be really proficient at it, but you've got the information. Now, those of you that are sponsors, even if you've only been in a week longer or a month longer than your new person, you've got 1 more week or 1 more month of experience than your new person. And if you want to be the leader, then what's necessary is that you step into a leadership role. Now, some of you go, well, I don't know what to do with my brand new person. I've only been in, 2 weeks longer than them. Well, if you've been engaged, you've got 1 more customer than they do. And you did sponsor them, so you've got more experience in sponsoring. Write this in your notes. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Let me say it again, because this is an incredibly important concept to understand. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. You know more than your brand new person. By definition, you sponsored them. And so do not wait for somebody to invite you to become the leader. Leadership is something that you have to go after. And so lead your people. Be that person that wants to work with them, help them speak to their next person, It will be uncomfortable. Trust me, I know. I remember that very first company when I had a few new people and I was showing them how to talk to their prospect on the phone, and it was uncomfortable because I didn't really feel I was that good at it, but I did have more experience than them. And all I can tell you is if you are doing something in your Zija business that's stretching you, makes you feel uncomfortable, like you're maybe not ready for this level yet, that's probably the direction you should be running towards as fast as you can. Okay? Nobody has ever achieved greatness sitting in their comfort zone. So, number one, brand new people and those you ready to re-engage. Okay? Unless you're already a diamond, you probably need to go back and review those 4 little videos. Take an hour. It'll help you with your business. Okay? Number 2, get plugged in. Get that initial training done, then get plugged in. Be part of the process that we've put together. Pat Anderson, like I said, she's got weekly broadcasts, tremendous amount of information on the www.clubmoringa.com website. Where's this thing here? I kind of like this, www.clubmoringa.com. Oh, very good. Doug Stroup is doing a lot of things for his organization. I'm working directly with Doug and his team right now. Doug, some of you heard his story from Thursday night, and Doug is actively re-engaging. He's had the blessings of residual income here for close to 3 years that he's been dealing with his it's kind of funny, I want to say brain injury. I've got the same problem, but it's had nothing to do with falling off the bicycle. It's just me. So what I want you to do right now, let me take a quick look here, make sure we have any. We're looking good. All right, no questions so far. What I want to do right now is I'm going to bring Doug over to me. Doug, I'm going to bring you on to this side of the webinar here. Make sure I got the right person. I've asked Doug to join me because I wanted to go just through a couple of things. Okay, I wanted to talk about where to get that. Hey, Doug. Good morning. How are you? Oh, let me unmute you, buddy. There we go. Try again. How you doing, bud?
Okay. Yeah, doing just fine. I'm actually sitting here taking some notes.
That's
what
good.
leaders do, right?
Hey, listen, I got to tell you something. I'm that guy too.
Yeah.
My journals are full of notes, and they're notes from David Moses, Pat Anderson. I've had notes from you. The minute you stop being that person that can learn from another,
yeah,
is the time you need to go retire, right? Because
that's right.
Grow.
Being teachable.
What I was going to say is, this morning I wanted to kind of, briskly go through kind of a game plan to get set up for this period. So, brand new distributors or existing distributors ready to re-engage, get those little videos. Take 60 minutes and refresh yourself. Or brand new people, learn the foundational things that guys like me and Doug were taught. Me over 30 years ago, Doug probably same thing, close to 30 years ago, right?
34 years now, yeah.
34 years ago, getting that foundational stuff. Understand that if you are a distributor who has a couple of people you've sponsored, step into a leadership role, help them get their first 2. That's what you do. Help them go get their first 2. Their job is to follow. Your job is to lead. And if you help them get a couple of people, that will create the competency, the confidence necessary for them to engage. Now, after that, a lot of the responsibility lies on your new person. I constantly, and Doug, I know you've heard this many times, how do I motivate my people to get going? Well, folks, I don't think you can. Okay, we can offer our new people an awful lot, but the one thing we can't give them is motivation. I've had people say, well, that was very motivational what you said. No, it wasn't. It might have been inspirational, and that's okay. I'm cool with that, right? But motivation, that's got to come from them. Why are they here? Just like when you started, Doug, in Zija, some of the people that are with us today heard your story, or they should have heard the replay of your story. And I'm not talking out of school. You've shared this before in open forums. You guys were struggling financially. I mean, I know you guys, it was a major struggle just to come up with the few $100s for the gold pack. And nobody called you up to say, Doug, did you call anybody today about the product? Did you talk? You were highly motivated to provide the financial security for your family that, you're called to be as the man of the family.
Right.
I wasn't calling you up saying, Doug, are you going to do a meeting this week? Doug, you got somebody to call? I mean, folks, people have to make that decision themselves. They've got to be accountable to what their goals are. And then, and I'm going to say one last thing, and then I want to utilize Doug's expertise for some of our questions and answers. Folks, if you want to get a good assessment of where you are at your business, what are your goals, short-term and long-term? And then evaluate, are your activities congruent with your goals? If you want to make $1 million, but you haven't even mentioned the product to anybody in a week, my question is, are your activities congruent with your goals? And so what we're going to do right now, folks, we're going to open up to question and answers. And Doug, I don't know if you can see the chat window from your side. I'm going to go ahead and kind of monitor that.
I can see it.
Okay, good. So folks, we're going to allow you right now, and don't be shy. Type into, there's a little chat, it's got the little cartoon bubble, there's a little chat place there where you can type in a question. So put in your question, and we'll field that question. And while we're waiting for that, Doug, I thought I've got a question for you, because when you started with Zija, we did not have any momentum. Okay, we were, I think we had maybe 2 products, maybe 3 products. We didn't have any huge success stories and that sort of thing. But you and Amy, I remember you guys threw all the kids in the van. You were homeschooling them, and you guys were like, any place somebody wanted to talk about Zija, you were driving there. I think I even remember praying with you over the phone one time that the car would keep going for one.
That's right.
I'm getting about praying over the car, but I know you prayed over the car a few times.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like 4 gazillion miles on that van, but you guys just did the deal, and you did the deal. What would you say was the most important thing over that first 12 months that allowed you to build the income up to where you could then live off of your Zija business? What was the most consistent thing you did?
Well, Fred, we were just going to where the activity was taking place. You talked about a minute ago the momentum, right? You can't wait till momentum begins. You've got to be the motivator that creates that momentum. Right? And then you follow that as the momentum begins to build. We call that big mo. I remember many times talking to leadership that was popping to the top. That's what I call that. You're going to have, and we had distributors, we had, different people, customers coming on board, but we were looking for those that wanted what we wanted. We were looking for those that, well, let me say this. You can't push people. Right, and we never ever want to come across that way, like we're trying to push somebody to doing something, right? But what we decided to do was to become the leader that they would want to follow. Working on ourselves while we're working on our business. So not pushing somebody to do something, but taking them along with us. And the way to do that, Fred, again, is to become that leader that people will want to follow. That's one of the biggest things that we did. Again, working on ourselves, our personal development, and we didn't have a whole lot of things and materials, and tools to work with back then. But we knew we had something that worked. We knew what we had people were looking for. And so we just wanted to be an example for them, right? Be a leader that they would want to follow.
Doug, there is so much that you just said. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows. I just grabbed my current journal so I could write down something you said. Okay? There's so much. If it's okay with you, I'd like to break down a little bit of what you said, because folks, because Doug, I mean, he's the real deal. Been there, done that. He's the guy that paid for the T-shirts that proved it, right? I mean, you know, Doug's one of our top, most recognized distributors. He's a Black Diamond. Some of the new people, you may not have heard much about Doug Stroup because he's been in semi-retirement here for the last couple of years. Excited to have him coming back out of retirement. Yeah. But because Doug has done so much and has grown so much in this profession, he shared a lot of things just now that most people missed, okay? First thing he said, and this is for those of you that got a little team already, as I'm looking at the list of people here, there's a number of you that have, you know, small and medium-sized organizations already. He made the comment that he goes to where the activity is. See, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm the guy that's the most responsible, you know, I have to say, you know, I'm that guy. You know, I invest a lot of time with people that do not have the level of desire that I have for them. You want to build a successful business, you want to develop people, folks, you can't push people. That's another thing he said. You can't push people. The phrase that I use, Doug, and you've heard me say this before, I don't beg anybody to come to the millionaire table. Now, why does somebody want to come to the millionaire table? Because it's the table that's in the front of the room. We got the best food and the best service, you know, and I don't beg anybody. What I'm looking for is the person that's raising both hands. Pick me, Fred. Take me to the millionaire table. Go where the activity is. And if you are pushing people, trying to drive them to the levels of success they said they desired, you're never going to get any kind of traction there, okay? Because you'll always have to be re-motivating, re-inspiring to get them going. That's really good stuff. And let me share something else, Doug, that I noticed was key to that first year where you guys, I mean, you went from less than nothing, okay?
Yeah.
Flying in on a wing and a prayer, right?
Yeah.
And because I remember when you were able to, you know, get the new car.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the second year, you told the kids, listen, you just got to hang in here with us, but we're going to do something really wonderful. And I remember when you guys went on that week Caribbean Disney cruise with the kids.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my goodness. It was just like, you know, we all died on to heaven. The kids couldn't believe that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, living off a Zija.
Yeah.
Well,
we had told them, Fred, we told them if they helped us achieve a certain pen rank in the company, that because we knew that it was going to take mom and dad away from them for a few hours here and there, and that, you know, they wouldn't be getting that personal attention from us at that time, right? We would make time for that, obviously. But if they would join this team as our family and would help us achieve certain pen ranks, we would take them on that cruise. And we did. It all worked together. And when we got there, we enjoyed that cruise together as a family. It was awesome.
Well, and the comment I was going to make, Doug, if there's anything, and this is why I really love working with you and Amy. When you guys made and in particular yourself, when you decided you and Amy were going to work together and create, you know, the legacy income that you've been able to create, it was consistency of activity.
Yeah.
Every single day you were doing something. Now I know on some days you had lots of meetings, lots of presentations. Other days you were, you know, at home working the phone. And so not necessarily doing, you know, an 8-hour day or whatever. But it was consistency of effort. That was really key. And why it was so neat to be able to work with a professional is that you understood how important it was to do something every day. We got a question here from Michael. How much do you rely on scripts to train the new person on what to say when piquing people's interest? And Doug, I think the advantage we got right now is we've got two different perspectives. Let me just give you a nickel version, and then I'm going to let you respond to Michael. Michael, great question. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't do scripts. Okay, I will share, verbiage that I use. Okay, but I don't really focus on scripts for a couple of reasons. Number one, it violates one of the basic principles that I was taught in, new distributor training 30 plus years ago. Don't teach techniques. Teach concepts. See, techniques, it's what everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know, where do I go? What do I say? Who do I talk to? What do I do? Everybody wants to know that. Everyone wants to know, Fred, what do you say? Well, here's the problem with that. The minute we make success in our profession based upon a particular technique, then we are automatically excluding somebody from being able to do our business. Because, what if the technique is, 3-foot rule? Be out in the shopping mall, talk to people, engage people in conversations. Guess what? You've eliminated me. I can't do that. I have a 100% home-based business because of the issues with my mom. I can't leave the house, okay? I pay people to be here with my mom so I can go to the gym. Now, techniques cannot be duplicated by the masses. Concepts can. And so I might share conceptually something I say, but I specifically tell people, don't use my words. Now, that being said, we all have techniques. Doug has certain techniques that because of his health and wellness, he's a certified,
wellness consultant.
Guru. What is it, dude?
A wellness consultant.
Yeah, certified wellness consultant, okay?
Whatever
that things he can do that there's no way I can do, and I don't even bother to try. There's certain techniques that I use. Everybody has a technique that they use. My suggestion to you, if you want to build large distribution organizations, focus on concepts, not techniques. Doug?
Yeah, I'll just answer that question by saying I've never followed scripts. And here's the very simple reason, is that people are going to follow you, not a version of you that may not really be you, right? I find people, if they're following scripts, they become kind of robotic to stick to it exactly. And the other piece of that is take a look at the script, right? Just to see, okay, maybe here's some specific question. Maybe there's a concept, like you said, that I want to ask people just to kind of guide my conversation. But I have never stuck to the script. I forgot they were even there in the back office, because I want this to come from the heart. And if it comes from the heart, people know that. If it's scripted, you're kind of robotic, and people know that. Well, and what if you're following a script and somebody asks a question and you don't have any idea where to go because it's not in the script? Well, then all of a sudden you're stuck,
I can't answer that question. Would you like to ask me this question? Because
right. That's right. So again, the simple answer is I don't follow the scripts. I just want to be me. I want to just keep it from the heart, and people appreciate that, I believe.
And Doug, that's and that's something that I always talk about in training as well. Folks, if you start talking like Doug, or you start talking like Fred, you're going to scare your prospects. Okay? Because they know that's not you. All right? I mean, who are you really, and what have you done with Doug Stroup? Now, when you feel comfortable, then you're going to be in a mode of operation. And Doug started to say, the real you. Something that I heard many years ago, and it's something I've strived. I can't say I've always achieved it, but I've strived to do. Operate from a position of honesty, integrity, and authenticity.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you can come from that place, there is nothing that you can do that's wrong. Honesty, integrity, and authenticity. Let's see here. Can you please address our ability to hear our prospects' why? What is the importance of understanding their why? Doug, you're a guy that had a huge why when you got involved in Zija. That one I'm gonna let you take.
Okay, so the question is understanding, actually it's first in hearing the person's why. That is extremely important. I like the way they even worded that question, because we are actually speaking to the listening of other people, right? You don't want to go off on tangents and saying things that they're not even asking those questions yet. But we're also becoming professional listeners. Now that's a phrase that I heard many years ago. What that means is we are listening to the person. That means we're not talking. We're not trying to just unload all the information that we have or don't have at the time. We are literally listening to them, and they're going to share their heart. They're going to share their interest. They're going to share their why. And the why is it so important for us to understand their why? Well, when you get off track in this journey, when you get frustrated in this journey, well, then you, because you know that person's why, you can remind them. Well, let's go back. And you know what? I even want people to write it down. Let me go back, write it down and send it to me. Send it to me in a text, in an email. I have a copy, a document of your why. That doesn't happen all the time, but you hear that person's why, and you can go back and remind them of that and say, remember, this is why we're doing this. When you're out there and you're in that ditch, so to speak, and you're not sure how to get out or what to do, where to go next, you can always go back and remember your why. And that keeps it from the heart, and that gets you refocused. And, I tell people, if you get off track, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So we're all here to work together to remind each other of why it is that we're doing this. And again, I think that keeps us on track. So it's very important to know their why.
Boy, Doug, that was powerful. My brain works with those little golden nuggets, the little phrases, the pearls, the gems, what have you. The one that jumps into my head right now is, God gave us all 2 ears and one mouth.
Yeah.
So do the math, right? 2 ears, because it's more important to hear than to speak. It really is. And so often we feel the need to be motivational, to be inspirational, when most often, let's face it, most people in today's world, I mean, it's talk about being lonely in a crowded room.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that's a fact, Doug, and I like that you focus so much on being conscious of why your new distributor needs success in Zija, because guess what, folks? If you haven't experienced a tough day, a tough week, or a tough, period in Zija, hang on. It's coming. If you're doing the deal. See, guess what? Everybody has a great day in Zija if you don't do anything. You don't have a customer saying, oh, I can't drink the drink, it tastes too good, or whatever it is they say, right? Oh, my best friend doesn't want to sign up, and so is that the only person you talk to? If you don't do much, guess what? You're not going to have much disappointment. You're not going to have much challenges. But if you're out there hammering the deal, if you're going to go for the gold, and you haven't had a bad day, a bad week, or even a bad period yet, hang on. It's coming. And that's what we have to keep ourselves personally going back to, why we're here. And if you're going to be a true leader, and Doug, you just demonstrated why you're a black diamond, why you've built the business that you've built, is because your focus is on understanding and supporting the individual, that person. Caring enough about them to remember why they're here, right?
Yeah.
Let's do one more. Can you expand? Let's see what we got time-wise here. You know what? We're going to have to, folks, expand on go to where the activity is. Let me just do that one in 10 seconds. Check your volume, okay? People that are writing business is where the activity is. One of the things that I got really good at in the early days was tracking daily sales reports. finding out who, and Doug, I'm sure you guys got a call at one point in time. Hey,
Yeah.
congratulations. I see you signed up 2 customers this week. I mean, I was every single day, daily method of operation. First thing I did, popped into the back office, see who wrote volume yesterday, because that was the person I wanted to go talk to, find out who they were, pour some gasoline on the fire. And Doug, I apologize. I'm having a lot. We're going to do this again, Doug. I mean, I'm hoping you don't feel like I'm going to be putting too much pressure on you, but I'd like you to join me on doing questions and answers like this on Saturday. First of all, it's great for the team to hear somebody else's perspective. I mean, I'm jotting down notes on what you're saying, Doug. It's good for me. We're going to close the session right now. It's a little bit. This is the first Saturday of the period. So this is day 1 of period 124. Probably more significantly, will be the first full period that Kim Brailsford will be CEO. We've got a lot of things on tap. We're going to be doing our first team meeting of the period, and David Moses. Doug, I don't know if you caught this, because this just happened yesterday. I put the little David Moses is going to join us for our team meeting. And so we've got about 10 minutes before the top of the hour. You can go ahead and simply just stay on the webinar. You can shut down and come back in. I'm going to leave the link active. And we're going to come back. I'm going to go over the highlights from the Diamond Club call this morning. We're going to do a little bit of focus on what to do this particular period to establish momentum. And then I'm going to bring David on, and David's the master. I mean, he's the guy that's going to be able to share with you exactly what we need. So, hey, Doug, thanks a million. I'm glad you were able to join me. And I'm putting you on the spot. Okay, now,
That's fine.
Everybody would be willing to join me for another one. I won't necessarily say every Saturday morning, but would you be willing to join me, periodically on Saturday mornings and do the questions with me?
Absolutely, Fred, without a doubt. This is a blast, and I know we're making a difference in other people's lives. So yeah, I'm all in.
All right, very good. All right, Doug, I'll let you go back over to the other side. Folks, we're going to shut down here for just a moment. Like I said, you can go ahead, and thank you, Doug. You can go ahead and just stay logged in if you want, or if you got to take a break, you can shut down, log back in if you'd like. 10 minutes, we're going to start right at the top of the hour, organizational team meeting. And if you've got team members that want to be part of what's going to be happening with Zija, get them on the team meeting. Okay, get them part of the team meeting, the same webinar link. With that, I'm going to say goodbye for right now. We'll talk again soon. Take care. Be back in about 10 minutes.